Hi everyone, myself Pankaj and welcome to the next video of solving most important DSA interview questions. So in this video, we are going to solve another uh, tree problem, and the problem statement is lowest common ancestor of a binary tree. So in this problem, you will be given with a binary tree and you have to find the lowest common ancestors of two given nodes in the tree. So basically what it's saying that you will be given with a tree and two nodes. So basically you have to find the lowest common ancestor of these two nodes. So what does lowest common ancestor means is that let's say this is a node. Okay, let's take this example only. Let's say you are given with this example P as 5 and Q as 1. So these are the two nodes that you are provided with, and you have to find the lowest common ancestors of these two nodes. So you can see here when you traverse back from this node 5 and at the same time when you will traverse back from this node 1, when you will reach at a common node, so that node will be the lowest common ancestor. The first common node will be the lowest common ancestor, right? So let's understand this question in a better way. So this is another example. Let's consider various points here. So let's say what will be the lowest common ancestor for this node 5 and this node 9. So you can see here when you will traverse back from this node 5, you will reach to a common point from these two nodes, right? When you will also traverse back from this node 9, you can reach at a common node, right? So this 7 is basically the common ancestor, or you can say lowest common ancestor of these two nodes, right? Again, you can take another example. So let's say you call this node 5 and this node 4. So when you will traverse back, you will reach at a common node. So this node 6 is basically the lowest common ancestor. So this node 7 is also a common common ancestor, but that is not lowest. We have to find the lowest one, right? So this 6 will be the lowest common ancestor. For another example, let's consider this node 3 and node 5. So what will be the lowest common ancestor? So when you will traverse back, you will reach to this node 5 only, and also when you will start traversing back from this node 5, at that time you will also be here at 5 only, right? So for node 3 and node 5, the lowest common ancestor is node 5 only, right? Also for example, let's say you consider this 10 and 8. So what will be the lowest common ancestor of these two nodes? So basically 8 will be the lowest common ancestor of these two nodes, right? So you can see here they have provided this description in their problem statement that according to the definition of lowest common ancestor, the lowest common ancestor is defined as two nodes P and Q as the lowest node in T. P means the tree, right? That has both P and Q as descendants, where we allow a node to be a descendant of itself. So here they have provided in this bracket that a node can be descendant of itself, right? So this is the similar example, right? So you can see here node 8 is the descendant of itself, right? That's why the lowest common ancestor of this node 10 and 8 is 8 itself, right? So there can be multiple cases like that, right? So for another example, let's consider this node 3 and this node 9. So what will be the lowest common ancestor? So when you will traverse back, you will come to a common node that is 7, right? From here also you can see 7 is the lowest common ancestor, right? So these are the different cases. So let's discuss each case one by one. So first of all, you can see the first case is when no one is null. So what does it mean? Let's say we consider this node 3 and node 9. So basically, let's say you start traversing with this root node, right? So when you will traverse back, so let's say you traversing to the left and you find 3 here, right? You find 3 here. So it will return that 3 is present in its left side of this node 7, right? And again, when you will traverse right to this 7 node, you will find node 9 here. So again, it will return that node 9 is present, right? So it will be returned to this common node that is 7, that is 3 and 9 here. So what it will return? What you will return at this point? You will basically return this 7 node, right? So this is the first case that both this left side and this right side are returning not null, right? This is also returning not null. This is also returning not null. In this case, what you will do? You will basically print this node value, right? 7. It means 7 is the common ancestor. So this is the first case. So what you will return? You will return here. What you will return? You will basically return what? Current root or current, let's say current node value, right? You will return this node 7 value, right? This was the current node. So you will return that, right? So let me make it as black, right? Now here comes case 2, that is when one is returning null and other is returning not null. So what does it mean? So let's say you are considering these nodes, that is node 3 and node 8, right? So when you will start traversing from this root node, then you will come to root 6, right? Node 6. Again, you will traverse to the left of 6, left. Then you will find 3. So it will return that 3 is present towards its left, right? Again, at the same time, you will be also calling for right of this node 5, right? So you can see that node 5 right is null, so it will return null. So in this case, what does it mean? That when you are finding left part is not null and right part as null, what does it mean? That you are finding one node towards its left and nothing you are getting from right. So what you will return in that case? You will basically return that left node, right? What does it mean? That you will basically return 3 from here. Let's say you got 3 here. Initially you got 3 here, then you got 3 here, and you got null from this right. So what you will return? You will basically return 3. That is, this part of this node 6 is basically containing node 3, right? So you will return 3 from here. So you will return 3 from here, right? So you returned 3 here. Again, when you went to the right of this node 6, right? So you found node 8. So you will return 8 from here, right? So it will become the first case, right? So this was the second case we understand from this intermediate nodes from 5 to 3, right? So in that case, you will basically return left node. The opposite of this case is that from left you are getting nothing, but from right you are getting a node. What does it mean? Let's say you consider these nodes, let's say node 12 and node 7, node 14, right? You are considering node 14 and node 12, right? So when you will call your function from root node, so you will go to the left of 16, then again left, left. So you didn't find any node, right? So you will return null from here, return null, then returned null to 7, right? From left. So what does it mean? That 7 has nothing from its left, right? Again, you will call for right of this 7. So you will find 14. So what you will return? You will return 14, that you had found 14. So you can see here, from left we are getting null, from right we are getting node. So in this case, what you will return? You will basically return this node 14. So this 7 will return 14 to 16, right? So in this case, this second case is working, right? Now let's come to third case. So basically, before going to third case, let's say what you will return. At in case 2. So if your left is let's say left is null. If your left is null, so and right is not null. Right is basically not null. So what you will return? You will basically return what? Left. Similar case for right. Right, that similar case for right also. Let's say if your left is not null. Okay, I'm sorry. Here you will return what you will return. You will return basically right part, because left is null. And if left is not null and right is null, so what you will return? You will basically return left. So this was all about second case. Now let's come to third case, when both are null. So what does it mean? Let's say when we are traversing our route. So let's say when we were traversing our tree. So at some point, let's say we are searching for node 4 and node 9. But in your recursive call, you will also call from node 5, right? So you will go to left of node 5, left of node 3, then again left of node 3, right? So you will find a null here. Also, again you will call for right for this node. So you will get null here. So what you will return? In both cases, you are getting null here. So to 3, you will basically return null. That means that you didn't got any of these two nodes, that is 4 and 9, right? You didn't find any of these two nodes, right? So you will return null. Again so this 3 will return null to 2. Again, you will call for right of this node 2. Again, you will find nothing here. So you will also return null from here. So from left and right, you are getting null for 2. So again, 2 will return null here. So this is basically the third case, that is when you are getting null from left and right, right? So in this case, what you will do, you will basically return null. So what you will do, you will basically return null. So you saw that you are getting these 3 cases, or you can more precisely, you can say that you are getting 4 cases. That is when one is returning null, and the first case is when both left and right are returning not null, and case 2 is basically one is null and another is not null, and case 3 is basically when both are null. But you have to use a base case here, that when you actually find these 2 nodes. Let's say you find this node 4 and node 9. So when you find this node 4, what you will do, you will basically return this node 4, right? And here you find 9, you will basically return 9 here, right? And when you come to this common ancestor of these 2 nodes, that is 7. So what you will do, you will basically return this 7 also. Basically this 7 is your answer, right? So at this case, let's say if your left answer is equal to P, that is node 4 was P and node 9 was Q. So if you find that Q and right answer is equal to Q, so what you will do, you will basically return the current root, right? So you can see here current root was 7. So basically we have to return this out, right? So now let's see the code of this problem. So first of all, what you will do, you will provide a base case that let's say your root node is null itself, right? In that case, there is no value inside the tree, right? So in that case, you will basically return null, right? Right. Now we came to the case that let's say your root dot val is equal to here you are provided with this node P and node Q, right? So let's say your root val is basically P dot val, or your root val is basically is equal to Q dot val. So in that case, what you will return? You will return that root. So what does it mean? That when we were traversing this node, let's say you found this node 4. So you were returning 4 from here. So the same case we are doing here, right? We are handling that case. Let's say here we found our node, right? So we are returning that node, right? Else what you will have to do, you will basically call your recursive call. So what does it mean? Let's say you will store your left part answer as left answer, and what you will do, you will basically call this function only recursively, right? So basically what you will call for root left, and you will pass P comma Q. Again, after returning back from there, what you will do, you will call for right part, what we had seen there, and we will store the answer of right part in right answer, right? As let's say you call for, okay, let's copy this out. You will call for root right, and you will pass P comma Q, right? Let's say you returned from left and right, right? So what you will do, we will basically check these 3 conditions. We came back from this left part and this right part, right? So we will basically check these 3 conditions, right? So let's try to code this out. First of all, we will check that if your left answer is not equal to null and your right answer is also not equal to null. What does it mean? That actually you found both of the nodes, right? So what you will do in that case, we were basically returning the current node. Here you can see that when we were getting non-null values from both right and left, we are basically returning the current node. Here you can see that from left we got not null, from right we got not null. So here we were returning 7. So basically we will return that current node. So what was the current node? Basically it's current root dot val, right? Okay, I'm sorry, we have to return root here. The another case will be, okay, we have to return this out. So basically the another case will be what? Else if, okay, it got submitted early. Let's come to the description. Okay, the another case is else if your left answer is not equal to null, but your right answer is equal to null. In that case, what we were doing? We were basically returning left answer. We were basically returning anyone which is not null. So which is not null in that case? Left answer. So basically we will return that left answer. Else, if the another part of this case is that if your left answer is equal to null, right, and your right answer is not equal to null. So in that case, what you are returning? Which is not null. So basically you will return right answer, right? Now here we come to the last case, that is when both are null. In that case we were basically returning null from here, right? So you can provide it inside else condition, else you will return null, right? Now let's try to run this code. Okay, here we have provided the wrong name, so let's run this out. So you can see here our public test cases are passing, right? So now let's try to submit this out. Okay, so our solution has been accepted. And talking about the time complexity of this code, so basically in worst case, let's say we had to find out the common ancestor of these node 3 and node 12, right? So in that case, what we are doing, we are basically traversing the whole tree, right? So basically the time complexity of this code will be big O of n, where n is the the number of nodes, right? And there is nothing we are utilizing for space, right? So actually for our recursive call, auxiliary space are getting used, right? So basically that is the interior part. So we don't consider that as a space, right? So basically we have not used any explicit space. That's why the space complexity of this code will be big O of 1, right? So this is the code. I hope you have understood this solution. So let's meet in the next video. Until then, have a nice day.